guys and gals, never here from Drake Wing Game and stuff you on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Polar Night. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. What? Oh no, absolutely not. You're a guest here. Really, it's not as bad as it seems. She put on a brave face, but I wasn't having it. June, I'm gonna go grab a tray. Why don't you serve up? I gestured to the buffet table, filled with gleaming, chafing dishes under heat lamps. Garret, really? Honestly, it's fine. I may look like a twig, but I promise I can handle it. She gave a little snort. She'd seen me last night in my underwear, so she knew just how skinny I was under the jacket. My heart accelerated at the memory, and not in a good way. Thanks, Garret. You're a sweetheart. I started shuffling the trays back and forth from the kitchen as she filled the buffet with piping hot mouth-watering foods. Creamy scrambled eggs, crisp and golden hash browns, crispy vegetarian bacon and sausages, mushrooms and butter. By the time I'd brought the final tray back to the kitchen and Jean was finishing stocking up the buffet, my belly was practically vibrating with hunger. Whew! Great team effort, Mr. Reed. Indeed, Miss Cameron. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to grab breakfast before my stomach implodes. Sounds messy. Now let me keep you. She grinned and ambled off, disappearing up the steps to the bridge deck. I grabbed a plate and stared at the bounty before me. Admittedly, I'd have preferred some real bacon and sausage, but on a mixed-species crew like this, it was to be expected that no real meat would be found. The far end of the buffet had fresh steamed vegetables of various kinds, followed by eggs and baked beans, mushrooms. As I scanned the other side, the foods became more decadent. Deciding to leave the vegetables, I grabbed a few hash browns and a scoop of scrambled eggs just as the door opened and Tabby walked in. Our eyes met for a moment. I had no idea how someone so slight could have such an intimidating gaze, although as she walked over, her expression was decidedly less unfriendly. Morning. Morning. Sleep well? Her less than stellar first night aboard hit me just as I spoke, and I caught my tongue. Fortunately, she either didn't notice or didn't care. It's fine. Standoffish as per usual, but her tone wasn't hostile. She sidled up next to me and started to scoop some veg onto her plate before surveying the rest. I wanted to ask her if she was okay, but I didn't want to pry either. She struck me as someone who was pretty private. I didn't know if Gail had let on that she'd told us about her nyctophobia. Plus, she seemed to be in a relatively good mood for the first time since I met her. But I also didn't want to just pretend like nothing had happened. Surely she was smart enough to know that, even if we didn't know why. Her scream was the reason for the commotion last night. The silence hung in the air until the awkwardness forced the words out of my mouth. So, are you okay? She turned to look at me, her expression unchanged as though she'd not quite heard me. Okay? What do you mean? I mean, about last night. Immediately her expression darkened. She gave me an accusing look. What about last night? Well, it started this. Might as well just bite the bullet. Gail said you had nyctophobia, and after that power cut, you seemed pretty upset, just checking if you were okay. I cringed inwardly, expecting her to tell me to shove it or shout at me. Instead, her expression shifted. Couldn't tell what she was feeling, but I could say she didn't seem pissed at me, at least. Just, if you want to say anything, I'm sorry for sticking my nose into your business. I offered her a hurried apology and turned back to the food, grabbing tonguefuls of stuff with little thought just to escape the situation as quickly as possible. I'm okay. I glanced up. To her amazement, she was smiling. Thanks for asking. Stunned by her response, I watched as she scooped a portion of eggs onto her plate and a few hash browns before strolling away toward a table. As I filled up my plate, the others started filtering into the room. Aaron and Stefan first, then Rufus, Dana, and Gail, and finally Shariff. I stepped away from the buffet as they all crowded around, picking up a hash brown and popping it into my mouth. It crunched satisfyingly in my mouth, overriding the pain response from being slightly too hot. There was a smattering of chat as people helped themselves to the buffet. I noticed Dana looked pretty rough. Bags under her eyes, unfocused gaze. God damn. How long had she stayed up drinking? I guess that was why she had not appeared during last night's kerfuffle. One by one, they spread out across the lounge, clustering into groups. Stefan, Shariff, and Aaron were seated at the top of the conference table we'd had our meeting at last night. Stefan was excitedly blabbering, Aaron chuckling and nodding along. Shariff was surprisingly attentive. Not speaking, but observing, sipping his tea. Holy shit, did Shariff just smile? Gail and Tabby were seated with Dana and Rufus around the sofa where the Caprine sisters had had their argument the previous night. Gail and Rufus were their usual gregarious selves, while Tabby was quiet and focused on her food. Dana was mostly shifting their rather meager portion of food on her plate around, resting her head in her hand. I knew very well the look of someone nursing a hangover. She did perk up when Gail asked her something. Like a switch had been flipped, she became animated, whatever effects of the hangover seemingly forgotten. Who do I want to sit with? Oh yeah, this is an important part. So we're gonna go with the Stefan, Aaron, and Shariff route. Aaron was shoving Stefan playfully as a step closer. Shariff sipped his tea silently. Hey, mind if I join you? Stefan beamed at me and patted the seat beside him. Of course you can! Sit your ass down! I sat by him while Aaron was on his opposite side. Shariff sat at the head of the table, a leather notebook open in one hand as he picked delicately at his food. Shariff's plate was surprisingly light, a heap of steamed peas and carrots, a small amount of eggs, and a single hash brown. Aaron's plate was similar, but just with larger portions and a helping of baked beans. Stefan, on the other hand, on top of having 4 large hash browns, he'd managed to cram a bit of everything from the buffet into his plate, except the steamed veg. I felt full just looking at it. Christ, lad, where do you put it? The hare nudged him in the ribs, making the possum wince with an oof. What? I'm a growing boy. Need my vitamins. You'll be doing a lot of growing if you stuff your face like this all the time. Hey! He gave the hare a wounded look. I always eat healthy. I just don't often get to eat free stuff, and I mean... He stabbed a single sausage on his fork and twirled it round slowly, as if marveling at it. The chef does some good chow, you can't deny it. After last night's dinner, I believe you that. I thought you were going to explode. Stop exaggerating. You ate enough for a family of 4. Did not. It was horrifying. Never seen anything like it. His completely solemn expression made me crack up. Aaron leaned around him and gazed at me with an exaggerated, wide-eyed look of terror. We thought you were gonna have to roll him down to the cabins. Stefan huffed and in a final show of defiance opened his gob and flashed Aaron a mouthful of chewed food. Stefan, that's disgusting. Stefan snickered, but his attention and mind were quickly drawn by Shariff. He'd been hiding his expression through his sips of tea, but the sight of Stefan gurning at Aaron proved too much. He gave a brief snorting laugh, a wide smile breaking through his normally stone-like expression. The 3 of us gave him amazed looks. You can smile! You should do it more. It was rather a strange look, given how stiff and standoffish he'd been up till now, but it certainly was a nice sight. He brought himself under control, giving a dainty cough and looking slightly embarrassed. Don't be ridiculous. Of course I can smile. It's the first time I've seen you do it, though. Shariff looked a little taken aback. He rubbed his chin, looking thoughtful. Do I really come across that way? Don't worry about it. It's just nice to see you smile. You were so serious yesterday. I apologize in that case. It wasn't my intention to be rude. Yesterday was the culmination of many months of effort, and also the first time I had met so many friends and family of the Iran crew. His newfound warmth was a welcome shift from his normal, world's largest stick-up-my-ass demeanor. I was meaning to ask, what's Professor Hagen like? Shariff's smile faded. I nudged Stefan the ribs as a warning to drop it, but apparently Aaron had the same idea. Our combined elbows must have been like a gut punch. Oof! Are you alright? Stefan's voice came out as a squeak. I'm fine. Shariff broke into a smile again, though I could see in his eyes that he was not quite over being reminded of his friend. We ate in silence for a while, Shariff staring as if lost in thought at the table while he idly poked at his food. Me and Iran shot Stefan's frustrated looks. He responded with a shrug and a defensive roll of his eyes. He taught me everything I know. His break in the silence caught us off guard, and all 3 of us looked up from our breakfasts. You mean Hagen, right? His voice was gentle, seemingly worried about upsetting Shariff. Indeed. His specialty was archaeology, but he knew more than I ever could about anthropology. He was a leading light in his field. The world lost a great man when the Iran vanished. Stefan bristled between us, and Iran and I both shot him warning looks. Again, he rolled his eyes but didn't interrupt. I owe it to him to discover his fate. Doesn't he have family? I'd have thought a man like that would have any number of friends, family, kids even. Regretfully, no. Hagen was always obsessed with his work. No time for family. Excuse me, Professor Abdi, but... Stefan finally could not contain himself, though his voice was softer than normal. Shariff, no point standing on formalities while we are here, do you not agree? Okay, sorry, Shariff. I was meaning to ask you about that, actually. You just said Hagen was an archaeologist? Yes, what about it? But I thought you were an anthropologist. I am. Archaeology and anthropology have much in common. My field focuses on the study of sentient societies, although my particular focus is on ancient societies from the Mosaic period. Wow, really? I gave an audible groan and buried my face in my hands, leading Aaron and Shariff to give me odd looks. Have you ever read Distant Origins by Rupert Cadella? Stefan, could you please leave this till later? Stefan looked like he was going to explode, but I didn't care. I absolutely did not need to listen to his prattling this time of the morning, especially over breakfast. Shariff and Aaron both looked at us oddly, but Stefan, amazingly, huffed and sat back, biting his tongue. Anyway, Shariff, what is that book you keep reading? Oh, this? It's my notebook, nothing more. I wanted to press him, but his tone turned sharp. His eyes regained some of that stony intensity of yesterday. It was a look that said, this topic is off limits. We ate in silence for a while more as we finished our breakfasts. I finished my plate, leaning back and sighing. I couldn't argue with Stefan. It was good, if simple food. So, hey, I've got my camera. Anyone want to come sightseeing with me? It's brighter out than last night. Might get some good views. Thanks, but I might go to the gym or the sauna, wherever I don't have to see her. He glared in the direction of the other table, where Dana had stood to excuse herself. It seemed the other group was finishing up breakfast too. There was a light tapping under the table, which I assumed was Aaron getting antsy about last night again. I regret I cannot join you. I'll be busy most of the day with the captain. Fine. Fine. I'll be on the deck if you need me. With that, we all rose to our feet. We took our plates and cups to the kitchen hatch, where the other group had already gathered. We all shuffled around the hatch to drop off our plates before coalescing into a vague group in the middle of the Explorers Club. Stefan had produced from somewhere a pretty expensive-looking camera. I tensed up instantly. I really don't like getting my picture taken. I'm going to head outside for some fresh air and see if I can take some photos. I was thinking I might use the gym if that's okay, June. Of course, knock yourself out. Figuratively, of course. June, if you wouldn't mind, I was going to take a look at the cinema. Could you help set it up? Alrighty. What about the sauna? I might avail myself there if that's okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not in service right now. Joseph is looking into it, though. Hopefully it'll be fixed shortly. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. That always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!